Oh, yeah. I'm Ryan Neff, your ugly ass host. Welcome to another edition of The Locker Room. It is 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That would be 7 o'clock Central. Sorry, 6 o'clock Central. 5 o'clock Mountain. 4:01 on the West Coast. Much to discuss in the world of sports. Try and get this done as quick as I possibly can. Thanks for everybody that tunes in live or who watches the replay. Your viewership is greatly appreciated. Those of you tuning in live on StreamYard or YouTube, thank you. So, week 6 of the NFL is complete. A lot of boring-ass games this weekend. They sucked. You have Eagles coach Nick Sirianni having maybe a meltdown, I guess. I'm not going to pile on the guy anymore. He's already been piled on. He went ballistic at the end of the game against the fans. I've heard him be called a clown, a fraud, the whole 9 yards. Jeffrey Lurie is not going to fire him. He's 3-2 as a coach. Something would have to go completely haywire, I think, for Lurie to fire him. Or Roseman to put in his 2 cents. So as long as they keep winning, Smith and Brown are back. That'll ease some of the frustration and pain. Could he have handled it at the end of the game better? Yes. He says he was trying to bring in energy. He said it was the energy maybe was directed the wrong way. No shit. He's a bit of a loose cannon anyway. You can't lose it every time something goes wrong. So if I were Nick Sirianni, I'd probably just keep my mouth shut. Everybody saw his presser the other day with his kids. Maybe it was to soften the blow. Maybe he's trying to direct all the attention to himself and let the team focus on what they have to. But it could be worse, Eagles fans. You could be the Panthers. Could be the Patriots. Could be the Jaguars. Could be the Cardinals. But you're 3-2. You're game and a half out of first. Half game, whatever the hell it is. Now, getting to the other funny thing. Jerry Jones went on 105.3 The Fan in Dallas. He was being asked hard questions. He didn't like it. He got aggravated, pissed off. He threatened to replace the host that was asking the question. If you didn't hear the whole thing, here's just a little snippet of what the interaction was.
Jerry, I think the counter back when you said, where are you going to get the players? You can't get them this week is, and you're aware of all the off-season topics.
Yeah, but what is your counter? What is your damn counter?
My counter is...
I really want to know where you would go get it. Now, don't tell me about should gotten a guy in the off-season.
Why not?
This isn't a damn word argument just because I'm not arguing with you. I'm dealing with how we line up against San Francisco, not what I did wrong last week or last month or 2 months ago or 2 years ago. If I really gave you guys a list of all the things I've done wrong over the last few years, you couldn't be on this program for the next 5 years steady and go over it. But every now and then you do some right things, and at the end of the day you add it up, and the rights give you a better spot than the wrongs. But if you think for any minute right now, there'll be one Super Bowl champion. What do the others do wrong? There's one Super Bowl champion. Now, we want to be that champion. And I'm sure not throwing the towel in today because of what happened out there Sunday. But I'm not going to sit here and waste a lot of energy, a lot of time. Let's talk about what I should have done back in 1907 or 2017. Shit, Ben. Come on. I've got more time than that, and I actually don't even have time on this great show for looking back at decisions.
Okay. So Jerry, 1970, a little different from this past off season in building the team we're talking about today, which there was a lot of criticism that you guys didn't add, didn't spend, and don't add and don't spend, and are not aggressive enough with some of the problems that are still haunting the Cowboys today that we see play out on the field. That's the point of talking about the off season.
Oh, I remember those criticisms very well. Okay, so what?
Or are they playing out to be accurate?
What's your point? What's your point?
My point is, it seems like
Listen, let me tell you what I'll do. Let me tell you what I'll do about it. I will let us sit down and look at the decisions we've made over the last several years. Okay? I'll look at it. Now, if you think I'm interested on a damn phone call with you over a radio and sitting here and throwing all the good out with the dishwater, you have got to be smoking something over there this morning. I'm not. And I really don't, and I don't even want our listeners to listen to me, to talk about this is not your job. Your job isn't to let me go over all the reasons that I did something and I'm sorry that I did it. That's not your job.
Well, my job is to ask why.
A job, or I'll get somebody else to ask these questions, man.
Jerry, we're trying to figure out why the team is.
I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. You're not going to figure out it's what the team is doing right or wrong. If you are, or any 5 or 10 like you, you need to come to this meeting I'm going to today. There are 32 teams here. You're geniuses.
Jerry, I think
So that's just a snippet of the conversation. I'm sure the entire conversation is all over social media. But look, as a former Cowboys fan, I've been saying this for years. He's a joke, man, anymore. He just is. He stays relevant by doing stuff like this. He thinks he's relevant, but he's not. I had Jake McChristner on the other night, who's a lifelong Bears fan, and we sort of disagreed. He thinks Jerry Jones runs the league. Roger Goodell doesn't do anything without Jerry Jones's approval. In football terms, team-wise, he's irrelevant. I get it. The team's worth $11.1 billion or something like that, but so what? Big deal. Since 95-96, there's only 3 teams that have not made the Super Bowl from the NFC since the Cowboys last won, and that's Minnesota, Washington, and Dallas. Every other team in the NFC has made a Super Bowl. He's a clown. It's a clown show anymore. He wants to take all the credit when shit's going great, but when stuff's going bad, he can't handle the pressure. He can't handle the questioning. If you don't want to get that line of questioning, do something about it. Put a better product on the field. Don't do stupid shit. Like signing Dak to a big-term contract and CD to a big-term contract, which you could have gone out and gotten Derrick Henry. You don't think that offensive line would have liked to have blocked for a Derrick Henry? Your defense blows. Your offense blows. Now, granted, they have injuries, but so what? They're 3-3, but it feels like more in 0-6. This is what he does. President, GM, owner, de facto pseudo head coach. I've said it for years. Until he's gone, this is the shit it's going to be every year, year in and year out. And what makes me laugh is Cowboys Nation puts up with it. People still fill that stadium. Fill it to the tilt. They're going to tailgate. They're going to spend a shitload of money on alcohol and food inside that stadium to watch that shit that they watched the other night. They got blown out by the Saints at home. They're not a good football team. It's not a good run organization at all. And it starts at the top. And when the heat starts coming down, Jerry Jones can't handle it. But this is what it's been the last 29 years, and it'll never change. That's why 10 years I bolted. Started rooting for the Chiefs, which are the original Dallas Texans, even before Patrick Mahomes, when Alex Smith was there. Don't wish anything bad on the man. Can't do it. Can't do it. He's not going to fire Mike McCarthy. He's just going to tough it out with what he has. And then at the end of the season, he'll fire Mike McCarthy. Because they're not making the playoffs. I said before the season started, they're not making the playoffs. I said whoever wins this division will make the playoffs, and that's it. That's the only team from this division that will make the playoffs, whoever wins the division. And if he ever wants to come on this show, my little rinky-dink project here, I'd be more than happy to have him on, and I would press him. And if he doesn't like it, he can hang up. It's just, Cowboys fans, if you really want to make a point and a statement, stop going to the games. Or here you go, show up to the games and just tailgate in the parking lot. Find somebody with TVs out in the parking lot and don't go inside. Watch the game outside. 100,000 people in the parking lot watching the game on TVs. Do you like the Chicago White Sox fan base? What did they average? Like 20 people a game? He'll never change. Again, I've said it before. He won a Super Bowl without Jimmy Johnson, but it was still Jimmy Johnson's players. So Jimmy, even though they won the third Super Bowl in 4 years back in 95 and 96, Jimmy Johnson still got a lot of the credit. Even though Switzer was a puppet. 94, 95, when they lost to San Francisco in the NFC Championship game, still Jimmy's players. Barry was still a puppet. And then the following year in 95, 96, they win with Barry Switzer. But Jimmy Johnson still got the credit because they're mostly his players. He wants to win a Super Bowl his way. And how's that worked out the last 29 years? It hasn't. And it's funny. And it's a joke. Because Cowboys fans will still pay all that shitload of money to go watch that year in and year out. Think of all the money, Cowboys fans, you spent going to those games over the last 29 years. Probably could have bought yourself a house, nice car. Could have gone on a month-long vacation to Tibet or something. But this is just what he does. New York Jets fans, I know they fired Robert Saleh. How's that working out so far? Robert Saleh didn't throw 2 interceptions in London to cost you the game. Robert Saleh last night didn't throw an interception to cost you the game. And by the way, almost lost a fumble. Aaron Rodgers is the coach, ladies and gentlemen. New York Jets fans. Then they went and got out Devontae Adams. What's that going to do? They haven't played together in 4 years. Aaron Rodgers blamed the officiating afterward, blamed Mike Williams for running the wrong route. I didn't hear him take any accountability after the loss. I'm sure Sunday night or last night, he went into a dark room somewhere, smoked his peyote or his mushrooms or whatever, reasoned. But he had time to go on to Pat McAfee. He always has time to focus on the Pat McAfee show. He had time to go on the Pat McAfee show last year when he got hurt. But he didn't have time to try and mentor Zach Wilson. He had time to go on the Pat McAfee show today after a loss have Davante Adams crash his interview. If anybody thinks that Aaron Rodgers is going to be the Jets' savior, you're smoking peyote. He can't move. He can throw Hail Marys. I mean, Breece Hall had a good game yesterday. Finally, they utilized the running back. You can't turn the ball over. I don't care if you bring Davante Adams in or not. Keep throwing interceptions at the most inopportune times. But let's fire the head coach. Let's bring in somebody else, interim-wise. Let's bring in Davante Adams. That's going to cure everything. You're 2-4. Realistically, you'd have to go 9-2 to sniff the playoffs the rest of the way. Finish 11-7 or 11-6. I'm sorry. The Jets' issues are a hell of a lot more than just the head coach. Defense again was lackluster yesterday. Now the whole Hassan Reddick thing, yet again. I'm tired of hearing about the Jets and Aaron Rodgers and that whole schmagiggy. You're 2-4. It's all the head coach's fault. Again, like I said, the coach ain't out there throwing picks, INTs. So good luck. If you didn't see it, the Bills have acquired Amari Cooper. And good, decent pickup. To TBD, to be determined. Maybe this will rejuvenate Amari's career. The Bills received Cooper and a 2025 sixth-round draft pick for a 2025 third-round pick and a seventh-round selection in 2026. Oh, and by the way, the Raiders aren't paying Davante Adams the rest of his contract. Guaranteed. So the Jets are going to eat that. So good luck with that, too. And like I said, we'll see what happens with the Bills. This move was made because of what the Jets did. Okay, the Jets went out and got Davante. We need a good number one receiver. So they went and got Amari Cooper. And I'm sure teams are still wheeling and dealing. Giants star left tackle Andrew Thomas, foot out indefinitely. He has a potential Lisfranc injury and is still considering other options. There is reason to believe that it could be season ending. Injury occurred Sunday night. Sucks. Lisfranc. Painful. This is all NFL crap. Owners have approved Tom Brady's bid to buy a minority stake of the Raiders. Whatever. Good for him. It's not like he doesn't have the money. Do I think it's going to make a difference? No. I don't know how they're going to. I mean, he'll never be able to broadcast a Raiders game. That's for sure. That's already, I think that's a done deal. And that's all it says about. Says Brady's deal was initially agreed upon in May 2023, but it took owners 17 months to give their approval over concerns he was receiving too much of a discount from Raiders majority owner Mark Davis. Go figure. He also owns a minority stake in the Las Vegas Aces. This majority owner, get this, is also Mark Davis. Owners approve Super Bowl's return to Atlanta in 2028. So they've been awarded that. I hate dome stadiums. I hate the turf. Football was made to be played outdoors on grass in whatever elements, other than lightning. Indoor stadiums are dumb. Mike Tomlin has come out and said that he is to consider starting Russell Wilson versus the Jets, even though Pittsburgh won the other day. He said he would make the decision closer to game time. Quote unquote, I got comfortable with his ability to display his health last week, in reference to Russell Wilson. Now it's about knocking the rust off. He's in consideration this week. We'll see where this leads us. Both guys at the quarterback position are scheduled to work on Wednesday. We'll just take it day by day. This is telling me that Russell Wilson is probably going to start next week, even though Justin Fields is 4-2. Just going to thrust Russell in there. It's not like Justin Fields has sucked. He's actually played decently well, but whatever. Hassan Reddick, Jets have granted him permission to seek a trade. Not even going to get into that whole thing. It's a debacle. Some other news and notes from around the world of sports. And this is unfortunate when it comes to the WNBA. Obviously, the Liberty and the Lynx are tied one game apiece in the NBA Finals. Breanna Stewart, after she missed a free throw and missed sort of a layup, her and her wife have received anti-gay emails. She said, I think for my wife especially, I think it was just terrifying. She said, with the spotlight of being in the finals and everything like that, they said it makes the most sense to file something formal. There was some other things going behind the scenes as well. I think it's a shame. In the day and age of all the betting sites and all the prop bets and whatnot, we've seen coaches say that they've been threatened. We've seen players. We've seen staff. And you're going to see more and more of it. And it's just unfortunate. You know, what the hell do people think? Then don't bet. If you're a fan, and that's the way you're going to act, don't watch the games. Get jag-offs. People are idiots. Sometimes. Where else do we? Oh, Major League Baseball. Tonight, 7:38. Just in about 15 minutes. Cleveland and New York play game 2. Yankees up 1-0. The Yankees won yesterday by a score of 5-2. And of course, yesterday the Mets beat the Dodgers. Even that series up 1-1. They won 7-3. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Dodgers and the Mets at Citi Field in Queens. Now that game 3, that is at 8:08 p.m. on FS1. Currently, the money is basically even on that game. A lot of people are picking Yankees and Dodgers. I will say I hope it's the Mets and the Guardians. Something different. But everybody wants to see Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani. I don't. I would like to see Mets, Guardians, Dodgers, Yankees don't make it, highest payrolls. I think it would be apropos, just like last year. The NHL is in full swing. A lot of people are picking the Edmonton Oilers. To win it all. I've seen that people are all over the place. But right now, as we speak, the Lightning are up on the Canucks in the first 1-0. Capitals are up on the Golden Knights 1-0 in the first. Devils and the Hurricanes in the first are scoreless, and the Panthers and the Blue Jackets scoreless. 7:30, it's the Wild at the Blues. 8 p.m. it's the Kraken at the Preds. Sharks at the Stars. The Blackhawks are at the Flames, and the Flyers are in Edmonton. And again, we are only a couple of games into the season. I think from the West, I've got the Stars in the finals. And from the East, I've got the Rangers. I went Rangers Stars. Some teams that are off to hot starts, the New Jersey Devils are 4-1. Dallas Stars and the Winnipeg Jets are 3-0. The Golden Knights and the Flames are 3-0. Rangers are 2-0-1. So again, NHL in full effect. NBA still in the preseason. If you didn't hear already, the Sixers have already shut down Joel Embiid because of a knee. Not playing in the preseason anymore. Sixers, Paul George has a bone bruise in his left knee, so I'm sure they'll shut him down. The Memphis Grizzlies are signing Scottie Pippen Jr. to a multi-year deal. That's all it says. No details. Tom Gora's purchase of 27% stake in Chargers okayed by the NFL owners. He owns the Detroit Pistons, by the way. So I now own the Detroit Pistons, and I have a stake in the Chargers. That's all it says. The 60-year-old Goras has a net worth of $11.8 billion. In 1995, he founded Platinum Equity, which has its headquarters in Beverly Hills. Goras' purchase comes after NFL owners on September 1st approved allowing private equity funds to buy stakes in teams. However, this is a purchase by Goras himself and is not affiliated with Platinum Equity. Goras will not have a role in the Chargers' daily business or a path to a controlling stake. Spanos family still owns 69%. The Clippers have ruled out Kawhi Leonard for the rest of the preseason. Go figure. I just retire Kawhi. Just retire. You've got your NBA title. You've got Defensive Player of the Year awards. Just retire already. Just like Mike Trout. Retire. You're always hurt. Doesn't make sense anymore. WNBA, like I said, the WNBA Finals is tied at 1 game apiece. Tomorrow on ESPN at 8 p.m. New York's at Minnesota. See what happens there. New York currently favored by 2.5. And again, we need to focus on the game. The thing going on with Breanna Stewart and her wife is horrible. It sucks. It should never happen. That's just the world we live in today's society. Some of these people should be hung up by their privates. And I hope it doesn't take away of what the NBA experienced this season as far as the season as a whole. Kyle Larson won the NASCAR race at the Circuit of the Americas. Or sorry, not the Circuit of the Americas, the Roval in Charlotte. Four drivers were eliminated this past weekend, so now it's down to 8 drivers in the chase for the Cup. And I'm trying to find out who the 8 drivers left are. Let's pull them up. So right now, Kyle Larson is your standings leader. Christopher Bell is second. Tyler Reddick is third. William Byron is fourth. Right now, the 4 that are on the outside looking in, Ryan Blaney sits fifth. Your defending Cup champion. Denny Hamlin is sixth. Chase Elliott seventh, and Joey Logano eighth. Blaney's 4 points to the bad. Denny Hamlin's 8 points out of fourth. Chase Elliott 9 points, and Joey Logano 11th. Next up on the schedule, I believe, is Las Vegas. So we are down to the nitty-gritty in NASCAR. English Premier League will pick back up this weekend. They had off this past weekend, probably for different tournaments that were going on. You had World Cup qualifying and like other stuff. You had the UEFA Nations League. You had all kinds of stuff going on. This week when they pick back up, I believe they pick back up on Saturday. Because I don't see anything the rest of the week. Yes. So on Saturday, Tottenham Hotspur will host West Ham United. Fulham hosts Aston Villa. Ipswich hosts Everton. Manchester United hosts Brentford. Newcastle United hosts Brighton. Southampton hosts Leicester City. And Bournemouth hosts Arsenal. Then on Sunday, as soon as my screen refreshes, Wolverhampton hosts Man City and Liverpool hosts Chelsea. So we are well into the season of the English Premier League. Just looking over at some of the news and notes here. Nothing major. But again, like the big things that came out today were, the whole Jerry Jones thing, which was a joke. Again, stop, Cowboys fans. Just stop going to the games. Just stop. If you want to hit the man where it hurts, just boycott him. Start a boycott out in the parking lot. 100,000 people in the parking lot, gathered around probably numerous TVs people have set up for tailgates. Just watch the game in the parking lot and go home. Coming up at 8 o'clock, the line of scrimmage with me, your ugly ass host, Ryan Neff. I will recap. We are halfway through the college football season. I'm telling you, football season, you blink, it's gone. I will recap week 7. I will look ahead to week 8 at 8:30. Jacob Priester, who covers Clemson football, he will be on to talk Clemson football, and we'll talk ACC. Maybe talk a little bit more. So that's coming up. Other than that, there's really nothing else on the slate here as far as like big time. I was looking like some for maybe updates as far as NFL news, like some more trades or something like that, and I'm not really seeing anything. So we know about Cam Akers is headed back to Minnesota. The Minnesota Vikings, this just came out, have acquired running back Cam Akers from Houston now that Joe Mixon's back. Akers played in Minnesota in 2023. He had 40 carries for 147 yards with the Texans. And that's it so far. So nothing. Nothing trade deadline or whatnot. So, hey, again, other than the Devontae Adams trade, the Amari Cooper trade, Jerry Jones's bullshit, that'll do it for another edition of The Locker Room. Again, coming up at 8 o'clock, it will be the line of scrimmage with me, Ryan Neff. Maybe tomorrow I'll be back on for I will be back on for The Locker Room. I'll be having another guest tomorrow. Hopefully get that solidified. So until 8 o'clock, enjoy the next 20 minutes. Those of you who don't tune in, join Yankees Guardians. Also, there are 3 college football games on tonight of the lesser persuasion, but it's still football, ladies and gentlemen. It's college football. I will always watch college football. I will see everybody on the flip side.